Good morning, AP English. This is Ms. Bates. I wanted to do a video on critical reading of a rhetorical analysis prompt, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. You do have an assignment due with this, but I wanted to walk you through it before I let you loose on the assignment. So we're going to take a look just at critical reading and annotating. Remember that annotating just means taking notes. You can kind of see that in the word. Some of the strategies I wanted to talk to you about, and actually not even the strategies, this is what you need to do. So as the screen shows, while you're reading the prompt, you should take lots of notes. You actually need to write on the prompt. This is in practice, this is on the actual exam. You need to write on the prompt, and don't just underline. You need to make notes about why you were underlining it. I'm going to talk to you about some of the timing on the next slide, but you have a limited amount of time to read the prompt and figure out what it's saying and figure out what strategies you're going to talk about. And if you are not actually making notes on the paper, again, more than just underlining, then you're going to have to go back and reread sections, which you just don't have time for. Okay. So make sure that you take lots of notes. One of the things you're going to take notes on is the rhetorical situation. So think about this as our soapstone: purpose, audience, exigence. That's going to become what is in your introduction. So as you are reading, maybe it takes you till the end and you're realizing, okay, this is what the author is trying to accomplish. Here's who he is trying to write to. Here is his exigence, meaning his context, or what made him or prompted him to write. So that's something that should be bullets, and maybe at the bottom of the prompt, in the white space at the bottom. Okay. Second thing that you're reading for, and again, you're reading for all of this at the same time. You don't have time to go back and reread. Second thing you're looking for is to kind of essentially come up with what's the author's claim. The author's trying to, again, list this at the bottom because that's going to go into your introduction, and that claim is going to control your entire prompt. All right. The third thing that you're looking for is the rhetorical strategies. I think it's a mnemonic that you can think of is FIDS, which stands for figurative language, imagery, diction, detail, and syntax. These are the things that you're reading for as you're going through the prompt. Um, and so as you are reading, this is the thing that you may underline something. Say you find a metaphor, you're going to underline the metaphor, but then you're also going to write the word metaphor beside it so that you know that's what you're seeing. Okay. And I would even encourage you to write FIDS at the top of the prompt so that you remember these are the things that I'm looking for. Okay. Remember, it is easier to talk about any of these things than to talk about syntax. Sometimes syntax may be the big thing that you see, especially a couple of the easier ones like parallelism. Remember the list that goes in the same order and looks the same. That would be something to talk about because it's really hitting you with all the examples. You could also talk about anaphora, which is the repetition of the first part of a sentence, like in Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream, because that's, again, hitting hard with what he wants, and sometimes it's all encompassing, like in when King says, let freedom ring from this place to this place, saying that it's essentially going to ring throughout the entire country. So syntax, anaphora, or within syntax, anaphora and parallelism seem to be, the two easier ones to talk about. You would also want to think about organization, structure, and modes. So is it an essay that uses comparison to make its point? Is it being given an argument of degree? They're both the same, but this one's a little different. Is it inductive or deductive structure? So those are the things. Does he take most of the argument to do the introduction, and then he only has one paragraph to do to have his main point? If he did that, why did he do that? Because it's not just identifying all these things, it's talking about why does he do that and how does it show the author's claim. Okay. The last thing to look at is, and you can kind of see this, is the appeals. This is your logos, ethos, and pathos. Again, like you're going to write FIDS at the top of your paper, go ahead and write PEL for pathos, ethos, and logos, because that's going to help control, is all of his evidence meaning to, is it all logic, facts, and statistics? Is it ethos, working on a shared belief that we have and perhaps arguing against that shared belief? Is it pathos? Is it an emotional appeal? Okay, so those are the things that you're going to be looking for as you are reading. And just to kind of show you what that should look like, here's the prompt after I read it. Okay, and don't be weird and zoom in. But notice I underlined in the actual prompt. I underlined as I was reading. Okay. Your paper needs to look messy by the time, but it's a messy that you can understand. Okay. So going back to the presentation, okay, um, make sure that you're identify the strategies by paragraph. So as you are reading, you're seeing, okay, in this paragraph I see this. Don't wait until the end and go back because you don't really have time. Um, this and again, and kind of what I said before, I want in the prompt, you're only going to spend about 10 minutes. 10 minutes reading the prompt, 10 minutes reading the essay that's attached, and doing your annotation. So you have 10 minutes. So that's what I want you to do. Well, actually, pausing just for a second, going back to this prompt. If you look here, notice that by the time I was done, I can glance at this and go, okay, the things I talked about or the things I recognized most was the contrasting or in parallelism or anaphora. So those might be the strategies that I see most are what I'm going to be able to write on. And again, you can see it at a glance because you were annotating as you were reading. So I think that that's going to be really helpful in helping you plan. And then you also have your examples already out here. Okay, I want to talk about contrasting as one of my strategies. Well, look, I already have the quote for contrasting. Remember that you do want to have multiple examples to prove your point. Um, so that's kind of all I wanted to talk to you about. Right now, go ahead and look up at the clock and see what time. Give yourselves 10 minutes to read and annotate the prompt. Then you're going to share with a partner, talk through some of these strategies you saw, make sure you're getting their evidence. And then I want you to compose an introduction and body paragraph, the assignments in Canvas. Um, or actually, you should have already seen the assignment because of this video, and then turn it into Canvas. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.